Hello.
Hi.
That video interlude did not work. I hit the wrong button. I am so sorry. So I'm going to hit it now and then we'll be live. Hence my shocked look of, okay. So, all right, now comes the video. And I will cut this part out. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Exorcise Your Riots. And today we are with AF Stewart, who has the perfect topic to talk about, which is October Frights. If you're not familiar with October Frights, you will be, and I urge you to become very familiar over the next 5 days because that is going to be the thing that is happening on all the social medias. But AF, Anita, would you like to just introduce yourselves? I've known you for over a decade and I love you. But can you tell a little bit about yourself to everybody else?
Okay, I'm a writer. I write horror, fantasy, do a little poetry. I publish everything independently. I also do designs. I have 3 stores up on Zazzle now. I offer a few book services over on Ko-fi, and basically, and I mustn't forget, I am now the media manager over at Crystal Lake Entertainment. Yeah, so
Congratulations.
thank you. So yeah, and I also do some podcasting for Crystal Lake and for Go Indie now as well. So basically, I'm too busy for my own good.
I completely understand that. And so, on top of all of that, you have October Frights to
Mm.
add to that busyness because you obviously are not busy enough. Tell us a little bit about October Frights, which is kicking off tomorrow.
Yeah, October Frights is a blog hop, which basically means that a bunch of authors of horror, paranormal, scary stuff get together from the 10th to the 15th in October, and we post stories, poems, articles. Sometimes they've done in the past like top 10 lists of horror movies or books or stuff they like. A couple of them have done book reviews and book recommendations. So you get kind of a mix of all sorts of interesting things. But it's all horror, it's all scary, it's all, spooky season themed.
Awesome, awesome. I've done it with you, like as in a participant for, I want to say like 5 years, which isn't even slightly how long this has been going on. I know this has been going on a long, long time. Like,
Yeah. October Frights Blog Hop actually evolved from the original Blog Hop, which is the Coffin Hop Blog Hop. And that went on for several years, like way back in the old days. Um, and when that kind of petered out and shut down, Clarissa Joel, sorry if I didn't get your last name pronounced right, Clarissa, but she took over and started the October Frights Blog Hop. She ran it for about, I'd like to say 3 or 4 years, maybe a little longer. And then she was getting busy and it was a lot of work for her. So I offered to take it over and I've been running it ever since. And like you said, we've probably been going for another 5, 6 years. I'm not sure. Time just sort of melds into each other after a while.
we're on writer time. There's no solid boundaries here.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember the coffin hop.
Yeah.
Now, like you say that, I'm like, was I part of the coffin hop? Like, did I participate? Not part of, but participate in the coffin hop? I don't remember now, but I
Yeah.
recognize the name, so I probably saw it as an observer or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
That was run by Axel Howerton. I think that's his last name. And he sort of actually he evolved that into a small press, the Coffin Hop Press. I'm not sure if they're still
oh,
around.
okay,
I'm not sure if they're still around or anymore, but they might be. So, yeah.
okay. Well, that's cool. This is so unexpected history lesson here, a horror history lesson, because yeah, October Frights has been around for a long time. What are some of the things do you know of that we can look forward to this year's hop?
Well, pretty sure they're going to be stories because there's always stories. I know at least 2 or 3 of the hoppers like to write stories for it. So, and a lot of them write like little continuing stories.
Hmm.
So like day 1, you'll get the first part, and then you'll get the second part, maybe day 2 or day 3, whatever. So you can read the entire story all week. So that's always fun. And like with me, I do a post a day, and I always do some flash fiction. I always do my drabbles on the Wednesday of that week. Do some poetry. There's always a dark poetry post. And this year I will be doing a spotlight on my own book, because I always do a spotlight on books. Usually it's someone else's book, but this year I've got a book coming out in October, so the spotlight will be on my fairy tales and nightmares book. So
Oh, excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. Well, now I kind of want to talk about that a little bit before we move on to more blog hop stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that book? Because I
Okay.
read the books and I love them. So this is awesome.
So a few years ago, I wrote this book, which is Visions and Nightmares. And this was intended to be a standalone short story collection. But then my, my editor, Christy Stratos, the editor of this book, Christy Stratos, asked me in another podcast I was doing whether I'd ever do another collection of short stories like that one. And I had never considered it, but of course she put the idea in my head, which is always a dangerous thing to do with me.
Yes.
And then, like a week later, I was doing this free course over on Future Learn about the origins and meanings of fairy tales. And Christy's comment and that course sort of clicked in my head, and thought, that's what I'll do for the next book. That's how Fairy Tales and Nightmares came about. And basically, it's
Awesome.
9 stories. They're all fairy tale retellings. They're all written from the point of view of a woman, because that's what Visions and Nightmares is. It's all female protagonists. So you've got, and they're all horror stories, and they're all set in history, some sort of historical period. Like Snow White is now set in feudal Japan.
Oh, cool.
Sleeping Beauty is probably the closest to the original fairy tale. You've still got the castle. You've still got the medieval sort of. It's more of a Slavic, Eastern European bent to this one. Um, the Little Mermaid is more of sort of a Mediterranean Greek vibe to it. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, which was the hardest one to adapt because that had to be from a female point of view. But there is a female in the original story, so I used her. And I put that in the Roman Empire,
Oh, very interesting.
in Turkey in the Roman Empire. So I sort of, and that's kind of got a lesbian romance in it as well, which was an interesting twist I didn't see coming when I started writing it. But
That's
and
funny.
yeah, and then we've got the Snow Queen, which is sort of a sequel to the original, um, and Baba Yaga, which it's not Baba Yaga as a villain. It's Baba Yaga as a misunderstood person.
Which I feel is probably more, well, not that we're talking about real people, but I feel like that's a truer
Yeah, I mean,
point of view.
I've never liked Baba Yaga as a villain, because if you read the things, I mean, she does some stuff, but it could be taken either way. If you
Yeah.
look at the folklore, sometimes it's a warning, or is it she just trying to teach a lesson to some idiots?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of the
Uh,
way I approached her story. And oh yeah, and then of course I had to do, because it's a horror tale, I had to do the Bluebeard.
yes.
So Bluebeard's kind of a revenge story, but it's got ghosts in it too. So
Okay. Which you would think with all, I mean, I guess that you can't really do a spoiler on Bluebeard, right? Like
yeah,
we all know what's behind
yeah.
that
I mean,
door.
yeah, but I mean, come on, you've got a serial killer fairy tale. It could not be included. So
Yeah, well, and ghosts too. It
yeah,
just seems like with all of that behind that door, there would be a few ghosts, maybe
yeah.
just a few. So, well, that sounds awesome. So, are you releasing that during the blog hop or is that coming
Um,
out later?
um, as of this recording, the publishing date is still up in the air as to when in October, but it's probably going to be more to the end of October, at least for the Kindle edition.
Hmm.
I'm still making plans right now, so
Gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, it's going to be down to the wire. Let's just say that.
Gotcha.
But you
Well,
will
I
get a
look forward to
spotlight
that.
on the book, and I've been doing a lot of social media promos for different stories, and so
Mhm.
if you want to check the social media, you can see what's coming up. So, and
Okay.
I've got a very good one that's going to be coming up too. So about the death count in the book.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes, I'm
Yeah, and
reviving my social media death counter. So
so what your death count, are you counting like people you fictionally killed?
yeah, I mean I'm not actually killing people in real life, just to be
No, no, fictionally. Like we
fictionally
specified
speaking.
fictionally
Yeah,
FBI.
it's how many people die in the book, and yeah,
Okay.
so it was 3 massacres. I think it was 7 wives, 2 husbands, 2 princes, at least 2 princes, um, 3 damsels, and a sundry secondary character. Oh yes, 1 mother and 2 children as well. So
Okay.
that's basically
Okay. I like that idea. I like having a death counter for your book. That's cool. So,
yeah.
well, awesome. So the blog hop, so that is coming out. The blog hop is obviously horror,
Mm.
but there's so many genres of horror. What are some of the genres that are going to be included in this? Like, splatterpunk, paranormal romance,
Well, no,
because it's a vast.
we do not do paranormal romance. Just to be clear
Okay.
on that. Um, I know the paranormal romance people keep trying to push into the horror zone, but no, don't, no. I'm sorry, paranormal romance belongs in romance. It's a romance
Hmm.
novel. It's not a I mean, I have nothing against it, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there are a few horror fans that also read paranormal romance. But if horror fans are looking for horror, they want horror. They don't want
Hmm.
they don't so we don't do paranormal romance. We do any other subgenre of horror, and like my stuff's horror fantasy. We've got some straight up horror. I know Carmilla Boyes who does it. A lot of her stuff's kind of erotic horror, erotic-y horror. It's not romance, but there's some sex in it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Sexy horror.
Yeah, and so yeah, I haven't taken a look. We also do a little bit of a kind of a mini book fair to go with it. It's on my website. I haven't really taken a look at what the books are yet, although probably by the time this recording airs, I will have. So, but yeah, so we have a mix of different subgenres of horror going in. So
Okay.
yeah.
I think it's funny that you bring that up about paranormal romance because they really don't mix. They're adjacent. And I say that as someone who tried to
No.
write a paranormal romance. And then I was informed you can't have, like, there's all these rules that I wasn't aware of.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have death, like a lot of death, like graphic death necessarily. And
Yeah.
I had like a whole sequence loved of a nightmare where, she has this nightmare and a dream demon mantis or whatever is eating her head. I love that scene. That's not romantic. I don't get that. So I do realize it is two different types of brain between horror people and paranormal
Yep.
romance that is distinct. So that
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
I tried writing a paranormal romance once too.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
the black torture goo told me it was a horror novel, so I went with that.
That's kind of what I've been told is like, yeah, it's okay that you wrote all that, but you can't put the paranormal romance tag on it or
Yeah.
people will be up in
Yeah.
arms over it. So
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
mine is a horror novel with a sex scene, so that's what.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I thought romantic horror was what it was supposed to be, but no. So, this is your education. If you're thinking about doing that right now, there
Mm,
is a distinction and there's a
yeah,
reason why we don't
yeah.
mix.
It's kind of odd though, because you can have erotic horror or horror with erotic undertones, which is
Mhm.
fine, and you can have
Yeah.
sex in your horror, which is fine. But paranormal romance, but you can't have the romance, like the pretty sweet
Yeah.
happily ever afters in horror, and that's what paranormal romance is. And yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot of romance writers don't get that because I get a lot of submissions of paranormal romance to my horror promos.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I do like with the October Frights. We've also got a giveaway, like an October Frights giveaway that's over on Story Origin. And yeah, and I have to put in the description no paranormal romance. Do not submit your paranormal. Do not submit your regular romance either. So,
That's so funny. Well,
mm,
and you know, depending on how you look at it, romance is a horror to some
mm.
of us readers, but
I
not in
mean,
a
yeah,
fun way.
yeah. I mean, I do want to state that I have nothing against paranormal romance.
Mhm.
Just get it in the right genre, target it to the right readers.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, and that is actually vital.
yeah, I mean, you're not doing yourself any favors by targeting your paranormal romance to horror readers. So
Hmm.
don't, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I actually learned that with this show because originally it was for all genre,
Mm,
and then I found out that the other genres, horror people, we play well with everybody, I feel
mm,
like. Look at Jigsaw.
yeah.
But the other genres don't necessarily like we tend to disturb them, I'll say. So that's
Yeah.
why we've had to split the show. There's all the genres, and then there's horror over here on the HWA channel. Which do I think is the coolest? Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions too about
Mm,
horror with the other writers. I find
yeah,
that a
they
lot.
just don't understand us, and that is why they wind up
Mm.
being targeted by serial killers. I'm just saying. Oh, did I say that? I mean fictionally, of course.
Yeah, that would be an interesting story. Yeah, a gathering of writers with the horror writer turns out to be the serial killer because she's tired of being misunderstood.
There you go. Anita Stewart's death count. Ching, ching, ching. It's going up. Well, can you share some of the names, some of the people that we have coming up in this blog hop? Like,
Well, the Ladissa Madonna, I'm gonna butcher the names, so just that's just it. Um,
that's
uh,
what you do. A horror writer, right? You butcher things. I mean,
yeah.
fictionally.
But yeah, I mean, she does it every year. She usually has some like flash fiction stories. Lita Hawk is with us. She's done several years. She usually has some stories as well. Carmilla Voyez, she does all sorts of things, so I'm not sure what she'll be doing this year. Nachin Casa, she usually does stories or excerpts from her own book, and of course, you will be there as well, and I will be there as well. So, yeah. So,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
that's some of the people that have signed up this year, and they're usually our regulars that sign up
Hmm.
every year. So if you've seen it previous years, you know what to expect. But there's usually a lot of flash fiction stories, and there's some different things. It just depends on what they feel like doing every year. So
Yeah. Well, how about because I know a lot of the viewers are horror writers and they're going to be like, how do I get involved in this? And it's a little late this year, but say next year, because this is an ongoing annual thing.
mhm.
Next year, how could people sign up? Like follow you?
Well, no, just join the Facebook group. We have a
Okay.
Facebook group, October Frights. And all you have to do is join the group. Basically, we're pretty silent most of the year. I mean, you get a few posts here and there from writers who are sharing their new releases and whatnot. But basically, it doesn't do much activity until October, and then that's when I post the new graphics. I post the sign up link. Do all the staging happens in the group. I usually will email everybody the for once the sign up ends, and then give you all the information like the links and everything, so you can stick it in your own blog posts and everything. So
Okay.
basically you'll get some group posts in October, you'll get a couple of emails in October, and that's basically how we do it, just through the Facebook group. So
Okay. Okay. And then what are the rules? I mean, there's not like a lot of rules, but there are some guidelines. Like I know you have to have the post in the beginning.
yeah, you have to have at least one post and on October 10th. You don't have to do any more than one post if you don't want to. Because I know people are busy, but you have to have one post. You have to have it up sometime in October 10th. You don't even have to have it up like in the wee hours of the morning, because time zones.
Yeah.
So anyway, and so that's basically one rule. It has to be some sort of spooky horror, the Halloween, whatever themed. Like, I mean, you can't post about politics or whatever.
Even though
although
that
that is
can be
scary.
very horrible.
Yeah. Anyway, and it can be anything you want as long as it's Halloween or scary related. It can be a story, it can be a poem, it can be an article, it can be heck, you can do a photo collage if you wanted.
Hmm.
And so that and you have to post the links like the blog hop list in some form. You either have to post the entire list or you can link back to my page where I list the list. So either way,
Okay.
you have to put up an October Frights banner. You can pick from the selection we have in the group, and you have to list the giveaway with the giveaway banner and the book fair because we've added the book fair in the last couple of years. So basically, you just have to do your posts, do your links, put your graphics up, and that's basically all you have to do. And you can do up to 1 to 6. Yeah, 6. I think it's 6. It's 10 to 15. So you got 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 6. You can do 1 to 6 posts. With however many posts is up to you. Like I always
Hmm.
do 6. Some people do 1. Some people do 3. Some people do 4.
Hmm.
Some people do
Yeah.
6. Yeah. So it depends on your time and how much you've got going that particular week. So
Hmm.
yeah, and
Okay.
I always
Yeah.
tell people to schedule the stupid thing so you don't have to do last minute stuff. So they don't
I
always listen. They
agree.
don't always listen to me, but
I'm gonna say I have been that person that's like the night of or the morning of, even like 2 in the morning, trying to get that post schedule. But it is so much just having everything kind of pre-scheduled, and then you can work on the sharing and the
mm,
connecting, because that's the
yeah,
benefit of this to you, like to the writers, to the people that
yeah,
participate, is all of the extra promotion you're getting because you're a bunch of writers sharing, people who are interested, readers who are interested in this topic, which is good that you
yeah,
do keep it so narrow, keeping the romance out, the
yeah,
paranormal
yeah.
romance, things like that. Because yeah, I always wind up with new readers, new likes, new follows from this event every
Yeah,
year.
I always get a spike on my
Hmm.
website from views as well, so that's always good as well. So it helps with the views and the people coming into your website as well or your
Hmm.
blog. Because I mean,
Yeah.
basically you can use whatever you want to do the post. You could use your blog, you can use your website if you have, or if you just have a Facebook page, you can do that too. I
Hmm.
mean, it might not be as effective on a Facebook page as say a blog or a website, but you can.
Hmm.
As long as you've got some place to put a post. We're not
Yeah.
picky. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's an awesome way to promote whatever, your new book coming out, your YouTube channel,
mhm.
what have you. There's no real rules on, what you can
Yeah.
link
Oh,
and what you
yeah.
can share.
Self promotion is perfectly fine as well as
Mhm.
long, and like I said, we do have a book fair, a little mini book fair that goes along with it, and a giveaway too. So if you're on Story Origin, um, you can do the giveaway as well. And if you're not on Story Origin, you can submit your book, and it can be any book. It doesn't have to be a new release. To the book fair, and that will go up on a page, and that's part of the sharing and part of the blog op as well.
Yeah, which is a good way to get some love for old releases as well,
Mhm.
like classics and things like that. Um, Well, awesome. All those links are in the description. So you can go watch this video and then go find the Blog Hop link and follow along, because it is from the 10th, tomorrow, to the 15th, right?
Yeah,
Okay. And then do you have any advice for people who are participants in the Blog Hop? Like, how do they optimize their experience? Like, what are some of the things that they should be focusing on?
yeah. Well, schedule your books, like I said,
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause
Well, I mean,
that's
as a
what.
viewer, like just somebody watching, like coming down to
Um.
participate. But yeah,
Well, you
schedule your
use
post.
the hashtag, which I don't always do myself, but use the hashtag. That's just basically October Frights, one word, with the hashtag thing. So use the October Frights hashtag. If you use the October Frights hashtag, it makes it easier for me to see it. It makes it easier for the other participants to see it and share it, retweet it, and stuff like that. So use the hashtag is a good idea, and share it. Share the posts when they come out too, because I mean, and share the posts. If you're listening, participants, share the posts to the group as
Hmm.
well on the October Fights Facebook group, because then I can see it too. Um, I mean, I check. personally, I check because I'm running the thing. I check the blogs every day. And that's one of the reasons why I've included on the form is how many posts you're going to do. So I don't have to necessarily check it every day.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
but
a lot of checking.
yeah, it is. But anyway, so especially when like we have had a few less blogs in the recent years because it goes up and down as to how many people. But when it was at maximum capacity, it was a lot of checking. So anyway, but I do share every post to my Twitter, to my Facebook, and this year probably to my LinkedIn because I'm back on LinkedIn now. And so yeah, and I share to the October Frights group. I share to my own reader group, and like, and if you have a reader group, share to your reader group, share to your Facebook page, and just share it out because that's basically all you can do is to get the word out to people.
Mhm.
And
Awesome.
use the
Yeah.
hashtags because
Okay.
they do work.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the huge benefit of this to everybody. It's kind of like a round win-win because readers get to meet new authors
Mm.
and have a chance to like win things, win books, find new reads that they want to read.
Yeah,
And then all the authors are sharing that pool of readers that are interested in this topic, as well as the cross promotion. I mean, the past, all the blog hops I've been to that were organized by you have a real sense of cooperation and sharing and teamwork. I mean, I think it's the teamwork thing. So,
yeah. And that is one other thing that I'd like to add. A lot of the bloggers and the participants in the hop actually have separate giveaways that they run themselves. So you have a chance to win other prizes other than just our free book giveaway, which is
mhm,
for everybody. A lot of the bloggers have like little mini giveaways as well. So you get to chance to win a lot of other prizes as well, just not just download the free books we're offering in the main giveaway.
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. So, well, excellent. I want to take the attention away from the blog hop for just a minute and back to you as an author. You told us a little bit about your upcoming book. What else do you have coming up?
well, I did put out the second book in the Hayward and Anderson series this year. It's a second short story, I should say, because it's a short story series. And Shadow and Scarlet, that one's out now. Next year, we're going to be having the next two stories, which is The Headless Corpse and Rivalry and Steam Monsters. I think that's the title. Anyway, and so basically, the Hayward and Anderson series, it's paranormal, detective, steampunk, alternate history mashup. And it's kind of a Sherlock Holmes parody where we have Elspeth Hayward and Lars Anderson, who are consulting detectives. Um, they're not exactly good consulting detectives, although they do solve the cases. But Elspeth Hayward is sort of this like full steam ahead. Um, doesn't matter if she gets herself into danger and trouble. She just pulls out the pistol, pulls out the dynamite, And then there's poor Lars, who's her partner, who was actually blackmailed into being her partner because he embezzled a lot of money from his father's company, and Elspeth's father blackmailed him into keeping an eye on her.
Oh, funny.
But he kind of likes it, but yeah, he really kind of is afraid of the paranormal aspect too. So it's like he's always trying to rein her in a little bit. He's wondering, should we really be doing this sort of a thing?
The voice of reason.
He's kind of the voice of reason. It's like he'd rather be home in the kitchen eating his Gravlax and drinking her brandy, which she drinks a lot of as well. Apparently all my characters like to be alcoholics for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, but yeah, and it's kind of just this fun, wacky little thing. Like in the first story, they were investigating this ghostly tower, which turned out to be not a ghost. Other things happened, including a dead body. Second story, they're investigating this stalker case involving a vampire. Third story, they're going to be investigating headless corpses that are running around London. And the fourth story is kind of Eldritch Gods steampunk monster mashup with
Oh,
this.
awesome.
Yeah, and the that was fourth. Okay, yeah, the fifth story. The fifth story is actually going to have both of them go to Reichenbach Falls at the same time that Sherlock Holmes is there. And
Oh, awesome.
yeah, and they do meet up with Sherlock Holmes, and they do meet up with Moriarty in that story. And you will find the connection to Moriarty in that story if you've been paying attention.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, but Sherlock Holmes only makes like a little cameo appearance because, he's fallen off a cliff.
That's a pretty short and dramatic
Yeah.
cameo appearance.
Yeah, so this is actually my explanation of how Sherlock Holmes survived Reichenbach Fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you find out why Moriarty was there, and that is the big case that
Okay.
Hayward and Anderson have to solve, and that involves ancient forest gods. So
This sounds incredible.
yeah, and there is going to be a sixth bonus story when I put them all into a collection, and where you will find out why Lars left his fiance.
Okay. Well, super. So where can we find out about this? Like, where can we keep track of you so that we can make sure we know this? Like
Well,
when
you
this
can
is
keep
coming
track
out.
of me at my website, afstewart.ca, which is there under my name. Yeah, all the books are listed there. Unfortunately, you will not find The Ghostly Tower, which is the first Hayward and Anderson, on Amazon, because Amazon, in its wisdom, decided my cover was didn't have a copyright, which it does, but what do you do? But the second one's on Amazon, and you can find The Ghostly Tower on every other retailer, and you can find it also direct from Ko-fi on my Ko-fi page.
Okay.
All the links are on my website.
Awesome.
And yeah, you can find all my books, and the upcoming fairy tales and nightmares will be on the website as well. So it's a one-stop shop for everything.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I think that's it. I think from here, everybody go down to the description, find the links to go get on the blog hop, go to AF Stewart's site, find all this information, go do the one stop shopping, and then follow along with the blog hop. And also, I'm just saying engage, because all the authors, we love getting feedback and responses and engaging with readers and other authors. So please, like, engage with all these people. And then if you want to do it next year, go join the link to the group and welcome, because it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of valuable fun. I'm going to say it's fun,
Mm.
but it has a big purpose that really helps. So, yeah, well, thank you so much for being here, Anita. You are always a pleasure. Like I said, we've known each other for over 10 years now. I don't even know when all that started, but yeah, I just always love having you here.
Yeah, well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you too. I love being on the show. So
Awesome. Well, it'll be soon again. So we will have you back. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And thank you for exercising your rights with us. And I'll see you next week.
yeah, bye.